Okay, hey everyone, how's it going? I've got a topic for you today on another Remington's Ramblings, and it's going to be kind of a long one, so I better get right down to it. Okay, here's the deal. I used to have a lot of medical appointments. Not so much now, surprisingly, but I used to have a lot of medical appointments. So I would have to drive to the next city over to go to the VA clinic for them. And this is like a 45-minute drive, so I got a lot of time on my hands to just think about stuff. Because what else can I do when I'm driving? So I would come up with different topics for myself to think about, and one of them that I came up with when I was driving home was a rather strange yet interesting topic. And I later on shared it with some friends of mine, and it got into like this really big discussion and debate, and so I decided that it was time to share it with you. Before, I was able to just pull this stuff like right out of my ass and talk about it, but now, since I'm sharing it with the world, I gotta do some research, which I have done, and I've written it all down here. And believe it or not, all this research was about Disney princesses. Yes, that's right, you heard me right. Disney princesses. This, as people who know me personally will recognize, this is the Disney princess hierarchy discussion. As in, who is the lowest ranked Disney princess all the way up to the highest ranked Disney princess. We're not talking about popularity, we're talking about their authority, as in how politically powerful they are. Alright? So, we're just going to go through the research I have, then I'm going to discuss my thoughts with you, okay? Right now, the Disney Princess line has 10 princesses in it. And this is their official lineup as of right now. This is January 2013. On their website, from left to right, is Snow White, Pocahontas, Belle, Cinderella, Rapunzel, Tiana, Aurora, Jasmine, Ariel, and Mulan. Okay. Now, here are all of the princesses that are royal by birth. There are 5 of them, which is Snow White, Rapunzel, Aurora, Jasmine, and Ariel. All of the others are not royal by birth. Some of them married into royalty, which kind of stacks into or factors into their political clout, which raises them up in the scale. Here are some future princesses. It is said that Merida from the movie Brave will be added into the Disney Princess lineup in, I think, either June or July of this year, 2013. And it's also expected that Anna from the future Disney movie Frozen will be added in as well. And this one's kind of a maybe. This is really rocky territory here, especially for hardcore fans. Princess Leia Organa of Alderaan from Star Wars. Since Disney has acquired the rights to Star Wars, Princess Leia is now technically a Disney princess. I know, believe it or not. Can you imagine that? Princess Leia is a Disney princess. I mean, I cannot imagine her putting on a frilly dress and prancing around with Han Solo. But if I were to rate her in the hierarchy, I would have to factor this in. She is a girl who was adopted into the ruling family of a planet which no longer exists. And she is now well, let's leave the books out of it for right now, but she is now romantically involved with a former smuggler turned freedom fighter. If you're going to go into the books, then she becomes pretty much the major ruling figurehead of the New Republic, and then she marries this former smuggler. And she is also the brother of the so far only known remaining Jedi Knight in the entire galaxy. So there's that with Princess Leia. So we're going to leave Princess Leia out of it. We're done with Princess Leia. Okay. Let me read some more stuff. Here's some stuff about Merida. All these facts are from, the Disney Princess Wiki, or actually the Disney Princess website itself, either or. Here's some stuff about Merida from Brave. She is the first princess in the lineup from a Pixar movie. She is the first princess in the lineup who wasn't inspired by either literature, such as Snow White and Cinderella, or a real-life person, such as Pocahontas. She is the first princess without a love interest, and she is the first princess to never sing a major song. So, there you go. There's your stuff about Merida. I don't know anything about Anna, except it's supposed to be, I think she's like the younger sister of the Ice Queen. There's some magic spells and whatnot going on. It hasn't been released yet. Alright. Let's see. Oh, the only princesses who were born a princess but can never be added to the lineup are Kida from the movie Atlantis and Eilonwy, however you pronounce it, the girl from Black Cauldron. So they were the only ones to be born a princess but cannot be added to the Disney Princess lineup. The only member of the lineup that was later removed is Tinkerbell. So originally, when the line first came out, she was a member of the Disney Princess lineup, but then they axed her. Mostly because I think they decided to give her her own series. Alright, so the only princess to actually be declared queen is Kida from Atlantis. So the only, one of the Disney princesses who was a princess in a movie to be declared queen was Kida. All the other ones were and remain princesses. Alright, so I've got these 10 here that I've mentioned. We're not going to factor Merida in. And then there are two others that I want to discuss. Those are Megara from Hercules, and Alice from Alice in Wonderland. Okay, so I am going to try to explain my thought process and explain why I rank each princess where they are in the hierarchy from lowest to highest. Okay, let's see. I think Esmeralda from the Hunchback of Notre Dame would also be in there. Okay, so at the very bottom, we got Esmeralda. She is the very lowest princess figure. I mean, she is nothing but a gypsy wanderer, and that's it. She's not royalty, she's not nobility, she doesn't marry into a royal family or anything like that. So she's at the bottom of the barrel. Okay, next up, I think we would have to put second lowest would be, I'm going to go ahead and say, Pocahontas. It's got to be Pocahontas. She was the daughter of an Indian chieftain, so she is a princess, so to speak, because she was the daughter of a ruling figure. But she's got to be, down there because pretty much outside of her tribe or anything, she wasn't really recognized as a person of power. Next up, we're going to have to put Alice from Alice in Wonderland. I'm going to say that Alice was the daughter of a minor noble. I mean, there's no way that her family would have that much money and that much land and they weren't of some kind of nobility. So Alice is the daughter of a minor noble, and since she's a little kid, she never gets married in the movie. So Alice is there. Then we have like varying degrees, and I'm not going to be able to rate any of these. I will save my top few for last, though. So I'll just go down the line. Okay, we got Mulan. Mulan was the daughter of, I'm going to say she was the daughter of a war hero and somewhat wealthy man. I mean, her father, had some property, and he was obviously well known to the military, so he was obviously a war hero before. I mean, how would he have gotten those injuries that he received. So she was the daughter of a wealthy war hero, and she married the son of a general who I think later on he became the general of the emperor's armies, and she was recognized by the emperor of China himself. I mean, in the end of the movie Mulan, the emperor bows to her, and so does the rest of China. And that was just like a heart-stopping moment because, first of all, she was a woman, and second of all, the emperor is bowing to her. So she was formally recognized as a person of great importance by that country's ruler. So there's the stuff that factors into Mulan stuff. All right, we have Jasmine. Jasmine is the daughter of the Sultan of Agrabah, I guess. Jasmine marries a street rat. She marries a homeless guy. But, yeah, Aladdin's situation is odd because, yeah, he is homeless. He is pretty much penniless. He lives on the street, but he comes into possession of the magic lamp, and then he's able to wish for anything. I mean, so he kind of wished himself into princehood, but he didn't have any kind of kingdom that he ruled over. And then, of course, later on, because of stuff that the genie does and Jafar does, all of his stuff is kind of taken away. But, you know, she's still a princess when she marries Aladdin, who I guess was given kind of a royal position. So you could consider Aladdin noble. So she was a princess who married a noble. I think they made Aladdin like the Sultan made him, Aladdin was the royal vizier after a while. I think that's how that worked. Okay, we got Tiana from the movie The Princess and the Frog. Tiana was just a regular, ordinary, everyday person, a civilian. She worked for a living. She worked hard for a living. And so she kind of made a name for herself. She bought that restaurant, had to fix it up. And she married the disgraced son of the rulers of some smallish country far away across the ocean. So she married into nobility, but the son was like a disgraced noble. I mean, obviously at the end of the movie, he had made up with his parents. But he gave up the royal lifestyle and decided to live there in New Orleans with Tiana there. So there's the stuff that factors into Tiana's thing. She became a person of prominence in her community, and she married into slightly disgraced nobility. Okay, we got Rapunzel. Rapunzel was the daughter of a king and queen. She was a princess. She was born a princess, but she was kidnapped as a child and raised by the evil witch of the movie. She never really married anyone, but you know it's assumed that she married whoever that guy was. I forget. I saw the movie like once in theaters. I guess he was like a thief, a trickster, a silver-tongued, whatever. But there's the stuff that features into Rapunzel's thing. She was born a princess, and she remains to be a princess. All right. We have Belle. Belle is a straight-up commoner. Her father was pretty much a crackpot inventor. And she married a prince. It said he was a prince. I was thinking about this earlier today, thinking about how I could present this. And I would say, you know what? The beast that, you know, turns back into prince, whatever. I mean, if he was a prince, he obviously was ruling over a country. And if he was ruling over a country, then, you know, obviously when he was a beast, he went into seclusion. How could he have ruled over a country if he wasn't ruling over a country? So who was taking care of the country when he was a beast? So I kept thinking of him as like a major noble, like a first cousin of whoever was ruling that country. But apparently he's a prince. So she's a commoner that married into a royalty. So there's the stuff about Belle. Okay, and we got Snow White. Snow White was born a princess. Her mother died. Her father remarried, and the woman he married was, the evil queen that tried to have Snow White killed. And Snow White ends up marrying Prince Charming, who was a prince. So she was born a princess. She married a prince. She's pretty high up there in the scale. So I think to be declared a queen, you have to either be born a princess and then marry someone who is not a prince, and then she becomes a queen, and I guess the guy becomes Prince so-and-so, or the consort of. So I don't know exactly how that works. And the only other way that she can become a queen is if the mother and father die, in which case she becomes queen, the prince becomes king, and that's how that works. Alright, so Snow White is up there. Cinderella. Obviously she marries the prince, I forget his name, Prince so-and-so. In some cases she's supposed to be a princess who is, ostracized by her wicked stepsisters. In other cases, she is the daughter of a major noble. I'm guessing that like a first or second cousin of the ruling house of that country. But she marries into royalty. So I'm going to say that, there's no way in the Disney movie that she was a princess. If she was living in that rather nice but still a townhouse, and then was walked all over by like these two ugly bitches and their bitch of a mom. So I'm going to say that she was a somewhat in the middle major minor noble who married into royalty. Okay, then we have Aurora, Princess Aurora from Sleeping Beauty. She was born a princess, grew up a commoner, not knowing that she was royalty, and then eventually she married Prince so-and-so, who was a prince, and so she was born a princess, grew up not knowing she was a princess, but I'm guessing she slipped into the role rather well, and she married the son of that country's king. So she is up there. I'm going to put Princess Aurora right underneath Snow White. And of course, that leaves who is up top? Number one, Ariel. Ariel from The Little Mermaid is the number one. She is up top at the major high position. Before I discuss that, let's discuss a little bit about Meg from Hercules, because I forgot about her. Meg is, I'm assuming that she is some really super hot, but still a common woman, who marries the half-deity son of the ruler of the gods. Well, she doesn't marry him, but it doesn't show it in the movie, but you assume that they hook up and they get together. So there is a thing about Meg. She's not an official Disney princess. She's pretty crass and even, somewhat crude at times. So I would have to say that she couldn't be considered a Disney princess in my book. She's a person of interest, but not a princess. Ariel. Okay, here's the thing about Ariel. She married a prince. Okay, she married a prince, and she herself was a princess. The reason that she is up top wasn't just because she was born a princess and married a prince. She is the daughter of a minor god. Okay. She is the daughter of a minor god. She is the daughter of King Triton. And King Triton is the son of Poseidon, one of the top three big Greek gods. All right, there's Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades. Okay, and Poseidon was the eldest of the three brothers. I think how it went was Poseidon is the oldest, then went Hades, and Zeus was the youngest. So she is the granddaughter of the eldest of the top 3 Greek gods. Her father is a minor god, which makes her a godling. I suppose she doesn't have any powers or anything, but that's how it works out. She's a princess, marries a prince. She's the daughter of a minor god, granddaughter of a major god. All right. I know this is a very unusual topic, but it was just something that had popped into my mind probably about a year ago, and I've thought about it every now and then, probably once every few months. But I decided that, you know what, I should share it with you guys. So if you have any comments or how you would rate them, go ahead and leave a comment below. And yeah, that's all I have for you this time. I am signing out.